Hi, my name is Megan Sterling and I'm the principal flute of the Hong Kong Philharmonic Orchestra. I joined the Hong Kong Phil in 2002, the beginning of the season that year, which is September. And so this is my 14th season with the orchestra. Well, the thing that I like most about the orchestra is my colleagues, because there's a very special thing when you've been playing together, especially for a long time. You create a unit, and it's not just about having some friendly faces around, it's really having that magical chemistry when you're playing together, and you can really read each other's minds and you get used to playing together. And that really only happens after an orchestra's stabilised and been very stable, and the players just grow together as to form a section. I love being here, it's great. I've really enjoyed the time that I've been here, and I have a family here now with a daughter, with my daughter who's 7 years old, and she's in the local school, so she can speak Cantonese and also Mandarin as well as English. So she's doing much better than me. Well, it feels like sometimes music doesn't really stop, so even if there's a time when you're not working or a few days when you're not working, it's mostly about the homework that you do as a musician. You never really switch off. So there's basically that going on every day. Of course, I like to spend time with my daughter, so just very quiet things, going for walks. I've got 2 dogs, so I like to take the dogs out for walks, and hiking and some running and reading. They're my main hobbies. I grew up in regional Australia in a town called Shepparton, which is about 200 kilometres north of Melbourne, so a country town in Australia. So my family is very interested in music. My mother's a music teacher and my father plays piano. I actually didn't learn music at school at all because at that time at my school they didn't really have enough people who were interested to learn music. But my parents would drive my sisters and I to music lessons in Melbourne. So once every 2 weeks they would drive us all down. It's about a 2.5 hours drive to go to the music lesson, and my parents would deliver my sisters and I to each of our music lessons and then drive back at the end of the day and get back in the evening. So that happened once every 2 weeks. When I was 16, I went on a student exchange to Germany, where I studied for 1 year. That was just in high school, but I was lucky enough to be sent to Berlin, which is of course the major musical centre of Europe, which I didn't really realise at the time because I was very unaware, and but I was lucky to have a fantastic flute teacher during that year. So the flute concerto was originally written with piano, flute and piano, and then the composer reworked it for orchestral accompaniment. And it's in 3 movements, a very nice flowing first movement, very tuneful, with some contrasting colours. And then the second movement is a slow, sort of sad, weary movement where the orchestra drives underneath and the flute has a plaintive melody over the top. And then the third movement is a lively movement in 3, almost a kind of Austrian style movement, and like a rondo form where the theme comes back several times and finishes with a very lovely flourish at the end.